It's too many baby mamas and not enough wives. Too many baby showers, not enough weddings.
What I hate about baby mama and baby daddy culture is that nobody considers the perspective of the children.
My child is being taken. I'm really heartbroken.
You, my baby mama, I won, changed my brain chemistry.
This guy basically decided to blackmail me with my child.
Not only do you have to be prepared to be a single mother, you also have to be prepared for the possibility that you might have to make that motherfucker a single daddy.
If a man is blackmailing you with your child, give them the child.
Is this the end of baby mama culture? Hey bestie! Welcome to the Spoiled Girly Support Group podcast where we talk about how to get that bag while also securing your own bag. I'm your host Elle and let's get into it. But before we get into it, I need you to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you never miss a Spoiled Girly episode. With that being said, let's get into it. This episode is made possible by all the Spoiled Girlies who subscribe to our membership. I recently opened up YouTube memberships for everyone, and within that membership, I brought back our OG Spoiled Girly videos that were super controversial but nonetheless resonated with a lot of the girlies. And I made those videos private more than a year ago because while they were some of my best work, they attracted a lot of attention, and unfortunately, a lot of that attention brought harm to our space, and I just wasn't willing to do that to my community. And it took me a long time to figure out how to bring back my absolute best work without reintroducing harm to our community. And fortunately, YouTube had a solution for that. And I am so excited for this new space. I have been making members only videos, and the vibes are like our OG Spoiled Girly vibes. I love that I get to have this more intimate conversations with the Spoiled Girlies, and it brings me back to when I first started making YouTube videos, which is super nice to be able to tap into that and speak about the topics that may not resonate with like a greater YouTube audience, but I know will resonate with the Spoiled Girlies. And yeah, I'm just so happy to be back. So if you want access to our OG Spoiled Girly videos and our new members only videos, click the link in the description and get your YouTube membership. And to all the girlies who are already subscribed, thank you so much from the bottom of my Spoiled Girly heart. And I hope you enjoyed the new members only videos. Like, I have been having so much fun making them, and I hope the videos have been as helpful to you as these concepts have been to me. Anyway, if you're interested, click the link in the description. Now back to the topic. Before we get into the celebrity and influencer tea, we need to define what baby mama culture is so that everyone knows what we're talking about. The phrase baby mama, derived from baby mother, isn't new, and it isn't even American. It comes from Jamaican Creole baby mother, and it found its way into hip hop, which is where most of us picked it up. And according to Wikipedia, the equivalent term for men, baby daddy or baby father, is not used as frequently as the term for women, which is baby mama or baby mother. And this has been written about before, actually. This phenomenon that we have terms for women who miss out on motherhood, but we don't have equivalent terms for men who do the same. Terms like barren or childless have been used to negate any further identity. The term non-father does not exist in any realm of social categories, which is quite interesting because barren for women definitely has this negative connotation attached to it, and a subset of childless women actually call themselves child-free to imply that they had a choice in them not having children. And that's because the term childless, like the less at the end of it, it implies a sort of lack, like you're lacking somehow if you don't have a child. So some women who do not have children, they call themselves child-free instead to make that distinction, because there is a negative connotation with being childless and also barren. And the word barren as well is a word for soil that isn't fertile, soil that nothing grows in. So there is like that connotation that there is a lack if you don't have children. And while there are also child-free men or childless men, the cultural perception of men who do not have children is largely neutral. And like in mainstream media, like literally no one is shaming men for not wanting kids or not having kids yet. And I always say that words are really important, and you really see the values of a culture depending on the words that they use and how often they use these words. And I speak like different languages, and one of them is Tagalog. And in Tagalog, there's this word baog, which is like someone who is infertile. And I don't know if it's just me or like my family and like the way that I learned this word, but this word only applies to men. Like I cannot think of a Tagalog word for infertile for women. Like I just have never learned this word. I'm pretty sure it exists, but it's not as common as baog. Like when you say baog, it means a man, like an infertile man. Like there is no female equivalent. And like I looked it up on Google, but like why? I'm the primary source for this. You know, why am I looking it up on Google? But like when I searched it up online, it said that actually baog is like gender neutral. It could apply to both men and women. But like how I learned this word, it only applies to men. And it's actually weird to call a woman baog. Like it's not a thing, okay? So if you speak Tagalog, tell me in the comments if you also learned it this way, that baog only applies to men. Linguistically, that is very interesting because in the Western world, we have this word barren and it only applies to women. But in Tagalog, there's this word baog and it only applies to men. Now compare that to the Western world where it's the exact opposite. In English, barren applies to women. Like you don't call men barren, you know, like barren has always been a term directed at women. And so the cultural default, and this is backed up by women's medical history, is that if a couple is unable to conceive, it's automatically the woman's fault. I mean, my Roman Empire, Anne Boleyn, Henry VIII, like he was really out here, you know, punishing his wives, imprisoning them, beheading them, divorcing them, you know, like he was really out here because he couldn't fathom that something could be wrong with him, and that's why he wasn't able to have sons. So yeah, I feel like a lot of the things that we discuss here, like it seems so conceptual and like so abstract, but it has real life consequences. Anyway, back to baby mamas and baby daddies. A shallow dive on baby mother culture features a single mother who is caring for her child or children alone. And a lot of these baby mamas have issues with their baby daddies. Either the baby daddy is skipping out on child support, or he's being petty, or not honoring the drop-off schedule, not showing up. Like a lot of them are high conflict situations.
Ooh, I get angry thinking about it.
There's certain TikTok creators, like they have made it their niche to talk about their immature baby daddies who are just making life absolute hell for them.
It's embarrassing to have a baby dad that acts like a baby mom. Every single mom knows how it feels when you try so hard to make sure your child is something in this world. No matter how hard I try, it doesn't matter. This is what I get.
I am like visibly shaken up, and I'm trying not to be, but when you have someone who's gonna act erratically, and then especially when I try to be calm and say like, hey, please don't do that. When it's just him and I alone, he makes it clear that he wants to threaten, intimidate me, and make sure that I know that he is in control of these situations. And then I'm just supposed to bow my head down and let him do whatever the f he wants and walk all over me. And it's not cool. It's like literally right now, guys, I'm starting to talking about this again, and it's his demeanor, it's his tone, it's the way he acts, it's the way he feels like he wants to manipulate and control me and do whatever he wants, knowing that if it was flipped he would lose his mind, makes me crazy.
My vehicle.
This is my day with my son.
No, it's not.
It's
Nothing
my
is
day.
order.
And the stories are just so horrendous. Like I don't understand like how these men were even able to have children with these women in the first place. Like how well were they hiding their diabolical behavior? Like I cannot even imagine like the things that women go through with their baby daddies. Like there's also been a ton of discourse on baby mama culture and how we should all end it.
It's too many baby mamas and not enough wives. Too many baby showers, not enough weddings. I'm gonna need y'all to stand up and put your foot down to these men. Stop letting them trap you. And for everybody that's like, oh, marriage is too much of a commitment. Marriage is too serious. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What do you think a baby is? You are tied to this person for the rest of your life through a child.
Boyfriend, girlfriend having a baby to single mom pipeline is strong. Like, let's be dead serious. People who are only someone's girlfriend who have a baby with somebody, they come in here and cry every day. Because a girlfriend and boyfriend can separate a lot easier than a husband and wife, leading to so many single moms. And they come in here and cry and tell us that their life is miserable. They have no help. And, you know, the man has gone to be with another woman. And they're just, them and their kids are just kicked to the side. So when you hear these cautionary tales, What make y'all think like, oh yeah, I want to keep like let me recreate that in my life. Like, yeah, let's keep going. But if a man loves you that bad, why wouldn't he commit his life to you before God? If he's serious about loving you, if he's serious about committing to you, why not? No, really, why not? Y'all have enough money to fund a baby. Y'all can't go to the court and sign that document? I'm just asking. Like, what's the harm in that? Even if it doesn't guarantee anything, it's more permanent than BF and GF titles.
What I hate about baby mama and baby daddy culture is that nobody considers the perspective of the children.
Being a baby mama is not a personality trait. I hate that shit. Being a baby mama is just having a kid with someone.
When I hear a bitch complain about her baby daddy, I don't want to hear it. I shut that shit down completely.
And a lot of people online and also in real life, when these situations come about, they feel like the women who have baby daddy drama, they just made bad choices. And that's because they didn't value family. They didn't value marriage. And that's why they just had kids willy-nilly. But here's what the research says. There's this landmark sociology study called Promises I Can Keep by Catherine Eden and Maria Kefalas. These researchers, they spent 5 years interviewing 162 low-income mothers in poor neighborhoods in Philadelphia and Camden, New Jersey. And the biggest revelation of all, okay, this book blew my mind. And the biggest revelation in this book is that contrary to the haters of the baby mamas, these women, the baby mamas, they did not devalue marriage. They actually valued it so highly that they refused to enter it lightly. While the poor women we interviewed saw marriage as a luxury, something they aspired to but feared they might never achieve, they judged children to be a necessity, an absolute essential part of a young woman's life, the chief source of identity and meaning. To most middle-class observers, depending on their philosophical take on things, a poor woman with children but no husband, diploma, or job is either a victim of her circumstances or undeniable proof that American society is coming apart at the seams. But in the social world inhabited by poor women, a baby born into such conditions represents an opportunity to prove one's worth. The real tragedy, these women insist, is a woman who's missed her chance to have children. And this is why I'm a firm believer that children should never be your source of identity. Like, you're already a complete person all on your own. And this is not to say that motherhood isn't this beautiful, wondrous, amazing thing, but you don't need to have children to achieve completeness. You can search for that completeness without having to engage in this form of motherhood. Anyway, I kept seeing this book on the TikTok comments when I was researching for this episode, and I'm glad I read it because it humanizes the mothers behind baby mama culture. And it is so easy to point fingers and like call each other names and try to like one up each other and like dunk on each other. But it takes more effort to try to understand the why behind this phenomenon hurting so many women and children. Like, it is not mean to point out that baby mama culture is hurting women and children. Okay. And this book really opened my eyes as to why, even though they know that baby mama culture can be harmful to them and their children, this book explains why so many women still seem to willingly participate in a largely harmful culture. I highly recommend this book, but for the sake of today's episode, long story short, baby mama culture exists for a bunch of reasons, and it's so much deeper than women not valuing themselves or having no self-respect, and that's why they became baby mamas. Women who participate in baby mama culture, they literally hold a completely different value system, which is a product of the space they occupy in society. I read this book called A Sum of Small Things, and the book talks about this phenomenon of people trying to go beyond their station, move social classes upwardly, be more upwardly mobile. They tend to adopt certain beliefs that they think will help them escape their current social class onto the next social class, but the beliefs that they end up adopting actually reinforce their current social class. And I want to plant that seed now, and you can see throughout the episode how women who participate in baby mama culture, they tend to not be as privileged, and they think that participating in baby mama culture is what will get them to escape the cycle of poverty, but actually it ends up reinforcing the cycle of poverty, the same cycle that they were trying to escape. So keep that in mind throughout this episode. So the book gave a bunch of reasons why women, especially poor or low income women, participate in baby mama culture. Number one, they don't want to delay having children. A lot of the baby mamas interviewed in this book, they expressed the sentiment that the best time to have children is when you're young, and actually getting married young is ill-advised because that's when people are more likely to cheat and explore. So why would you want to tie yourself down to one person? And the women they interviewed basically said that the best time to settle down is when you're older, because then you're done exploring. And this just shows how the baby mamas, they actually value marriage so much that they don't want to enter it lightly. And it was a common feature in the book as well that the women have explicitly said that they don't want to get married and then get divorced later. Like, divorce is like this really bad thing for them. Marriage is like placed on this pedestal, and for a lot of them, they find it very difficult to achieve. And that brings us to reason number two. Low-income women have such reverence for marriage that they want to be absolutely 100% ready for it in ways that they don't plan to be for motherhood. Low-income women are waging a war of the sexes in the domestic sphere, and they believe their own earnings and assets are what buys them power. Equally important, these material things provide insurance against a marriage gone bad. Most are strongly opposed to divorce and see marriage as risky and the hazard of divorce high. And here's something that got me shook while I was reading it. These women believe that getting married to a man and living off of his earnings practically ensures an imbalance of power they'll find intolerable. And I feel like everything is a Venn diagram. The girl boss, the trad wife, and the baby mamas, like there's some overlap there. The baby mamas and the girl boss, the overlap is that they don't want to rely on a man for money because they don't trust men. And the baby mamas and the trad wives, they have this high reverence for marriage as a commonality. Like, you see it, like everything is tied. When Andrea Dworkin said that we are all wives and we are all whores, like she really meant it, okay? Like, see, the connections are connecting. Like, all the literature that we have been exploring for the past years, they're all coming together. I love that for us. Back to baby mamas having such high reverence for marriage. Not only do Dina and others like her want the good job, they also expect a house and a car. In fact, they might even insist on having the title to these possessions in their names. Most feel strongly that they need some insurance against a marital failure. I mean, when you think about it, the baby mamas of baby mama culture, they have put so much thought into marriage in ways that the teenage trad wives have not. Hence, the trad wife to food stamps pipeline. Are you shook, rattled, and rolled yet? Like, I did not expect this from this book. Like, I didn't know this was a thing. That the baby mamas actually value marriage so much that they think it's so important that they don't want to rush into it. Another revelation, the participants in baby mama culture, they actually have high expectations for their own weddings. Having the wherewithal to throw a big wedding is a vivid display that the couple has achieved enough financial security to do more than live from paycheck to paycheck. A stressful situation that most believe leads almost inevitably to divorce. So one of the reasons why baby mamas, they may delay marriage or not get married in the foreseeable future is because they would rather wait to save up for a proper marriage instead of run to the courthouse and like file the paperwork, because it is very important for them, for others to see that they are very serious in their commitment to getting married. And the fourth revelation is that the baby mamas are actually very wary of men. Keisha is avoiding marriage for precisely this reason. I never wanted to get married because I never wanted to be tied down with a person tried to be over me, like trying to be my boss or something. Alina thinks women ought to be wary when it comes to marriage because then they're gonna regret it because their husband's gonna think that they own them. And in the book, you could really pick up on how these women are so distrusting of men and how they have had negative experiences with men feeling like they own them. And that's why financial independence is so important for baby mamas who participate in baby mama culture. Azaria, 42, a Puerto Rican mother of children ages 3 to 19, believes it is difficult to predict how a man will behave within marriage just by living with him for a few months. She cautions, don't rush into nothing, because when you live with them, it's different than when you marry them. When you live with them, you could do more things. When you get married, you have to do what they want you to do. I say no. You do what you want, I do what I want. Some mothers are so firmly convinced that marriage corrupts men's behavior that they believe a marriage will almost inevitably ruin a relationship. And we have to remind ourselves that this is the reality that these women live in. Their experiences have shown them that marriage corrupts relationship. And from reading these interviews, like, I get it now. They are living a different reality than what a lot of women who disagree with baby mama culture have lived. And the difference between women who willingly participate in baby mama culture and the women who disagree with it is privilege. And we're going to get into what kind of privilege in a little bit. Okay, so stay tuned. I keep seeing baby mamas get called bird-brained on TikTok and how they have no self-worth and all these negative things like directed towards baby mamas, right? But reading these interviews in this book, it kind of makes sense. Baby mama culture is literally a response to patriarchy and the nature of men in relationships and marriages. Baby mamas, I fear, are more woken up to their own reality, but the ways in which they adapt to their reality is different, to say the least. And the fifth reason as to why baby mamas are quite hetero-pessimistic. Truthfully, most men now are not trustworthy. Brianna, just 16, an African-American mother of a 1-year-old, offers this assessment of the problem with marriage in her community. Guys really make me really sick. You just can't trust them anymore. You can't get a decent man you can really, really trust. And so the baby mamas, they would rather have children, which signals their completeness in life and their womanhood without having to be permanently tied to a man, because they are quite hetero-pessimistic, or actually hetero-realistic. Moving on to the last reason as to why baby mamas are baby mamas. As per the title of the book, the baby mamas, they only want to make promises they know they can keep. Though women living in disadvantaged social contexts often wish they could indulge in a marriage at the same time that they're raising their children, it is simply not practical for most. If a marriage is to be lasting, it must have a strong economic foundation that both partners help to build, in which the woman maintains some level of economic independence. The couple's relationship must also be strong enough to overcome the problems that so frequently lead to divorce, because marriage, which most still say is sacred, involves making promises to be faithful and stay together for a lifetime. And as Dina Vallis puts it, most are not willing to make promises they are not sure they can keep. And this gets us into the reason why baby mamas are baby mamas, and also why non-poor and non-low income women tend to disagree with baby mama culture. Readers may wonder why so many of these women continue to hope for marriage when the men in their lives seem to be such bad risks. As we've said earlier, these couples live in a world where the better off men go to the better off women. Thus, unless poor women can improve their own positions through education and work, they have no choice but to abandon the dream of marriage altogether or attempt to change the available men. According to the book, they are delaying marriage because the better off men tend to go with the better off women, and so the poor and low income women tend to date the poor and low income men, and a lot of the times the poor and low income men, they struggle with being eligible husbands and fathers. Essentially, long story short, if you had to date the men that these poor and low income women are dating, I fear the baby mama adaptation of front-loading motherhood and delaying marriage makes some lick of sense. And if you cannot relate, congratulations, you are neither poor nor low income. Now, this video isn't a defense of baby mama culture. This is not me telling everyone that, well, that makes sense for the baby mamas, now everyone's gotta be a baby mama. Like, okay, that would be a no nuance Nelly take. This isn't a defense of baby mama culture, because the statistics and lived experiences of women and children caught up in baby mama culture, they expose the harm associated with it. So much so that our government has had to intervene and create government programs to incentivize marriage prior to having children. Like, this is such a big issue that the government is getting involved.
I absolutely love my kids to death. But if I could talk to the younger me, I would tell me to wait.
And another big issue right now that the government is getting involved in is the dropping birth rates. Everywhere we look in media, it seems like the falling birth rate is like this impending doomsday calamity.
How bad is our birth decline?
It is shockingly bad. So we are now at 1.6 per woman. Our replacement rate is 2.1.
Wow.
So the birth rate is the lowest it's ever been. It's plummeting.
The birth rate is declining in every single place on Earth.
Population rates are collapsing everywhere and nobody really knows why or what to do about it.
And you know what? According to the girls on TikTok, they have Offset the rapper to blame for that.
You're my baby mother, I won. With that one sentence, Offset single-handedly dropped the birth rate by about 0.5 point. He launched a generation of childless cat ladies, and I think that we should thank him for his service.
I mean, Offset was married to Cardi B, so I don't know why he's calling her a baby mother. Like, you're married, that's your ex-wife. But anyway, this comment is now living rent-free in millions of women's minds, okay? Like, women are seeing this in real time, how a man is basically telling a woman, you're my baby mama, I won. As if being able to colonize her womb is like this triumph, right? So a man being able to get you pregnant and having you bear his children is like this victory of some sort. And this is how men see it. And it's so funny because verbally, a lot of people devalue women and motherhood about how, oh, anyone can have a child. Like, it's not an achievement. Like, you're not special because you're a mother. But then they turn around when it's time to dunk on women that it's actually a win for us. It's actually the gold prize, you know? Actually, women are the prize. Yeah. So women are seeing this in real time about how the scams that people have been running on women are actually scams. The notion that motherhood isn't this special thing, the notion that mothers aren't anything special, the notion that women are not the prize. This scenario undoes all of that. Women are the prize, and that's just the reality of it. Not only do women think that, men also think that. They just don't want us to know it. And because of this shared realization that women are making at the same time, all together, now more than ever, women are gatekeeping their wombs.
You, my baby mama, I won, changed my brain chemistry in a way that never lets me let my guard down in front of a man ever.
I will never forget the amount of men quote tweeting it and laughing and say, oh my God, he got her. Ah! Like, no, it's not just Offset. You all exposed yourselves that day.
And that's exactly why a lot of us don't want to have kids with men and don't want to get married to men. So many men view marriage and having a kid with a woman as like them entrapping you, and it's a form of abuse. A lot of men view pregnancy as a form of abuse. And that is like the perfect example of them basically using it against you.
Imagine a man telling you, you my BM, I won. That line wasn't even said to me, but I'm still hurt behind it.
It shook me out of my boots. I'm scared straight.
You my BM, I won. That was so foul. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Women are the prize. And no matter how much and how hard men deny that, it is still an achievement to procreate with a woman. And it's not only women saying that. Literally, Offset said that. He said the quiet part out loud. And I don't say that women are the prize or access to women's wombs is the prize. I don't say that with glee, okay? I'm not like, you know, wow, we are the prize, yay! That's not how I'm saying it, okay? It's just a fact. Like, the sky is blue, water is wet, women are the prize. And the sooner that you realize that, the better off you are. Realizing that you are the prize, women are the prize, I don't say that in a self-aggrandizing way. The fact that women are the prize is the root of our oppression. Like, the biological reality of being a woman in a patriarchy is the root of our oppression. And that's because if you are the prize, you are instrumentalized, you are objectified, you are seen as something to be conquered and colonized. So when I say you are the prize, I don't say that in a celebratory way. I say that as that is the root of your oppression, and you need to watch out and gatekeep access to yourself. Okay? Once you realize that you are the prize, you then stop devaluing yourself and allowing just about anyone to access you. Even talking to you is a prize to people. Okay? You literally are the source. You are creation and you are the future. So stop granting undeserving people access to the future, to life everlasting. And actually, thanks to another celebrity influencer controversy, women are taking it a step further. This next controversy is showing women that should they be conned into having children with a man they were incompatible with, or is undeserving, or is just not a good person, a man who is actively harming them and hindering access to their child and just like making it very difficult to be a mother, they should let the man have the child. This controversy may spark the beginning of the rise of single fathers who have full custody of their children. This might just be the end of baby mama culture and the rise of baby daddy culture.
WizardLiz is openly advocating for mothers in, high conflict situations, just handing the baby over to the father. She's recommending that everyone follow her example and just walk away.
This controversy surrounds the influencer, the WizardLiz. She's this very prominent YouTube creator who has millions and millions of followers, subscribers throughout her social media platforms. And this saga has been going on for a couple months now. She started dating another influencer, YouTuber, and they were religiously married, and she was pregnant. And at 4 months pregnant, she finds out that he has been cheating on her, and she leaves him, and that's where the saga kind of picks up. And long story short, they are having custody issues and legal issues, immigration issues, and according to the WizardLiz, the father of her child, Landon, is making it very difficult for her to be a mother. And the WizardLiz went on Twitch detailing her visa issues and her uncooperative baby daddy as the reasons why she is no longer fighting for full custody of her months-old baby.
This guy sabotages my visa, and now that I can't get into the United States, this guy immediately gets primary custody because I can't do anything. I can't get my child out of the United States. So he literally, because of that, he's like, oh, now you're gonna have to pay $5,000 to $10,000 a month in child support.
This guy basically decided to blackmail me with my child. If I don't do this, then he's gonna take my child. If I don't do this, then I'm gonna get deported. And I was constantly thinking, okay, let me just try to be nice and just pay for everything and do everything this guy asks so he will stop blackmailing. But guess what happened? It got worse and worse. And guess what happened even now? He went online and he literally said, after I had to leave for my visa, that I abandoned my child. I abandoned my child. No, I abandoned myself, staying through all of the bullshit for my child. I want to say to every single woman, if a man is blackmailing you with your child, give them the child. Let these men be single parents.
I have been seeing this sentiment on TikTok for a while now, and it's crazy how it's been given a much larger platform via the WizardLiz controversy. And a lot of people have a lot to say about it.
Women are learning that you do not have to suffer consequences just because you've made poor decisions. Men live lives of making poor decisions and not having to suffer any type of consequences. And the reason being is because they do not internalize shame like women do. A lot of women will sit here and allow themselves to suffer consequences because they don't want to be called a deadbeat mom. Men know that having to be a single mother is a harsh consequence, which is the reason why they shame single mothers. Which is why more and more women are going to sit here and say, you want to know what? I'm cool being a deadbeat mom. I'm cool giving you sole custody. Put me on child support. Why should I have to sit here and choose to suffer consequences? Because at the end of the day, more and more women are realizing that you choose consequences. Men don't. When it comes to freedom and consequences, men choose freedom every single fucking time. And more women are getting privy to this shit.
For the supporters of the WizardLiz, they think that this is her redemption arc. Like she is finally back to her old self and she locked in and remembered who the f she was.
Seeing WizardLiz hit her villain era, respectfully, I love that for her.
But those who disagree with her actions, they feel like it's a heartless thing to do. Like they could never abandon their child like that.
As a family law attorney in New York, I want everyone to just stop and think that there's a baby in the middle of all this. What will it mean if mothers walk away from their children at any age? Don't you think it's going to have a lasting psychological trauma on the child?
And I honestly have no take here because I cannot even imagine. Okay, I cannot imagine making that choice. Like, what do you mean? That you risked your life getting pregnant. And apparently she also had a traumatic birth story. And so she risks her life basically and gives birth to this whole human child. And now she also has to fight to see this child grow up and raise him and perform the mothering that she was expecting to perform since she is this child's biological mother. Okay, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's heartless, honestly, like the things that mothers have to go through in these situations. And it is a certain kind of evil to do this to a woman, and it is misogyny to the nth degree.
Now that the WizardLiz has decided to very famously and controversially give up her baby, she's just decided, I'm not playing your games. If you want to be a single dad, be a single dad. Doing what men have been doing for centuries, right? Got it. You're up to date. Mark my words, friend, that maybe 9 months from now, maybe a year from now, we are going to see a huge movement from Big Pharma or even from men's rights groups pushing for the male contraceptive pill or subsidized vasectomies for men, you know, to protect them from these women, you know, get pregnant and then give them the baby. Never mind that men have been doing that to women without consequences for centuries. The poles are shifting on the planet and society. Everything is different. Everything is switched. Now women are saying, okay, we're not playing your game. If you're going to use the court system to abuse me so I can't see my child, you may have the child. And you know, it's really funny. She did say that Landon is now blowing up her phone saying you can have your baby. If it wasn't so predictable, it would be funny, but it's also really saddening.
Now, I don't really agree with the sentiment that men only know pain and the fear of pain is the only way that they will modify their behavior, but I do agree that we all need to be standing on business more. For so long, our empathy has been weaponized against us, and women are finally adapting to sharing a world with people who refuse to learn empathy and respect for life. And honestly, when they find out that the good women they were promised are no longer, maybe they'll learn to be the good men that we read about in our fictional romance books. Until then, we stay standing on business. That's all I have for you today. I just wanted to let you know that you have so much inherent worth and value in a world that is hell-bent on devaluing you. And a big thank you to all the spoiled girlies who joined our YouTube membership. If you want access to our OG spoiled girly videos and new members only videos, click the link in the description. Thank you so much. Bye.